And this week we're going to be putting a Mercedes OM606 engine into this Puma 6-speed manual Landrover. I'm under pressure because I've got an engine to prepare for Mr. Hewes.
If you had to have a tattoo, what would it be?
Love and hat.
Now Mr. Hewes gets involved with army tanks and he's even built one for Whistling Diesel. Mr. Hewes' Land Rover set on fire and he contacted me because he wanted something mechanical, diesel, reliable to go into his Land Rover. And I said, yeah, no problem, I know what to do. Well, we've got 3 weeks. That is a problem, yes. Basically, I've been talked into this. This engine to my right is not my regular standard of work. This engine is a used engine that could have been found in a bin or perhaps at the bottom of the sea. This is the kind of engine that we normally produce that fantastically represents the company, but unfortunately in 3 weeks we don't really have time for that. I've been given this used engine that has been test run. You can see that disaster online, by the way. Don't put a used pump that you don't know the history of onto an engine and try and start it, because that rack might just be stuck and that engine might try and do 10,000 RPM. Basically, I have to prepare this engine and I've got to check it over the best I possibly can. And I'm going to bolt on all sorts of bits. So myself and Mr. Hewes came to a deal. I have purchased a boat that's right at the bottom of the country that needs picking up and bringing back to Dieselpumpuk UK headquarters. So I said, Mr. Hewes, you move tanks a lot. You pick up my boat and I will put all my sexy bolt-ons onto your engine and give it a once-over. So for Mr. Hewes, that's a pretty good deal. But it's also a decent deal for me because I get to promote a little bit on Mr. Hewes' channel and I get to learn a little bit more about installing one of these into a Puma Defender, because we've done a lot of other Defenders, the Puma not so much. We'll put the cost down to R&D. Normally this engine would have an EDC pump on it. It's had that put on to test run it. That's going to be a core, but it's got to come off. This filter housing's wrong. Could contaminants have got into the engine? Potentially, we don't know. Put the turbo version 1 back on and we'll give the bearings a check over. We can see all the injector line clips are broken. We've got to fix that. The glow plugs, they could be seized, they could snap in the head. The 606 needs its glow plugs to run. We've got something strange going on here. We can see that that's been messed with. We've got no spring for the tensioner. That's no longer available from Mercedes. We've got various bits damaged and bent. On this side, we've got a couple of broken studs in the head. The whole turbo assembly is missing and a part of the thermostat housing's missing. Normally, I wouldn't ever take an engine like this. Normally purchase a running car. I would take the engine out of the running car. The whole thing would get stripped down, fully analysed, fully inspected, and then it'd go through our system to get rebuilt and turned into that. But as mentioned, we don't have the timescale for that this time. I'm going to get this thing washed off and then we're going to have a look inside and see what damage we can find. First job, let's get some of these broken studs out of the exhaust manifold side of the engine. It's a simple method of just drilling right down to the bottom, which relieves the pressure, and then wind them out.
This is strange. It's all melted. What's been going on there? Vacuum leaks, unreliability. Ooh,
That's a bit grey, chunky. Look at that.
red, like a doggy's lipstick.
That's never a good sign. See there? That is human error.
Will we need special tools? Oh no! You ready? Watch this. There it is. Crazy that, isn't it?
This is going to be the moment of truth.
One-handed. Oh. What's it like inside? Yeah, there's definitely been water in it. It looks recent. That's good.
Not too rusty inside. I mean, I'll pull a bearing and just make sure that it hasn't had utter destruction. It's like a watery slug. Big blobs of water here and there.
Yeah. It's almost like it was recently topped up with oil using a jug
that had a bit of water in the bottom of it or something.
I think number 1 and 4 is going to be a problem.
I'm thinking 2 will be stuck.
Yeah.
But I'm remaining hopeful.
Yeah.
Ah, the windy gun. This is my preferred tool for removing glow plugs. It seems a little bit rough
and people will be saying, nah, you know, put a spanner on it. But the nice thing about using the impact gun is it keeps the rotating force axial on the glow plug. So rather than putting side load on it and snapping it off, it actually works really well. And the hammer action helps to break up the carbon. So although this seems rough, it actually is my preferred method if they've got, well, pretty jammed over the years.
Oh, no.
Everything might just be rounded.
It's really rounded.
Let's go from the front.
Oh,
It's not good when it spins. Lots of turny. Yeah, that snapped off in the head. What's this one like? The front one is broken. That one is rounded. This one we can't get to. That one's no longer 12, it's just round. We're smashing on an 11. I say we, I mean me. I'm not throwing anybody else under this bus. In the words of Ainsley Harriott, yeah boy. Not too much glory though. One definitely snapped off, which means lots of drilling and welding and extracting. I'm gonna go and take this out of my socket now. Thanks for that. I've got my fingers crossed. Straight into the engine. Now we have access to the tungsten. We're going to weld a nut to that, twist that tungsten and pull it in one long length out of the hole so we can drill down the middle accurately. For the next step, just to get this glow plug out, get your TIG welding set out. It doesn't need to be a big TIG welding set, just your 200 ampere. Pure argon in the bottle. Make sure your tungsten sharp. Red tipped tungsten, that's what I'd go for. 308L wire, because it's nice for a bit of mixture. We're going to weld on this nut to the tungsten so that when we twist that nut, it removes the tungsten. Ooh, that's down there. Ooh, nice. Nice. Right, that's pretty horrible. Just TIG welded that nut on there. Don't get excited and start trying to take that nut out just yet. Wait for it to cool. Once you've let it sufficiently cool, twist and pray. Then it snaps like you just heard it snap. Take your mole grips in case it's still a bit warm, which it shouldn't be. And there you have it, look. There is the tungsten. Great success. Now you can drill down so that we actually erase the threads. Drill it and tap it so we can get slide hammer to grip it. 10.5 mil. That is an 8. So we're going to go 8, 9, 10 that. You can see I've drilled away the area where the threads are. So they're the original aluminium threads. The plug has crumbled into bits to come out. So now I have to just wind this in. Slide hammer is attached. Moment of truth time. Will it pull the plug or will it rip the threads? Yeah, boy. So there you go. Right, that's all of them tapped. If you blow
It's day number 2 on Mr. Hewes' engine build. Yesterday, we started the strip down. We saw a little bit of surface corrosion on the cams. We saw quite a bit of oil and water mixture in the sump. Didn't look like it had been in there for long though, so no real damage to the crankshaft or bearings, which is good news. I had to, unfortunately, do the whole welding process on the glow plug. And if you want to see more about how to correctly remove a glow plug, I did a video a little while ago all about that. The exhaust manifold flange area of the head, I'm going to tap all these out because obviously I had broken studs to extract from there yesterday. I'll also tap out the inlet bolts. They're quite strange because they're an M7. The old pump's still currently on there because I'm using it just to hold that chain tight while I'm turning it over and playing about with it. Today I'm probably going to be doing a lot of washing and cleaning. I did promise some cleaning yesterday, didn't I? But I didn't expect so many seized things and broken things. I was prepared for that. So today I'm going to fire up the cleaning equipment, things like the oil filter housings, various separate housings. Rocker cover. Might get a chance to paint the rocker cover today as well. What colour though? That's the question. What colour? It's going to be a surprise. We'll see.
Pre-chamber check, checking for the little ball. See it just in there, good. It's good.
Day number 3 on Mr. Hewes' engine build, and I think you'll admit it's looking a lot cleaner and nicer. No, it still doesn't look like a fully rebuilt Dieselpumpuk UK engine, but it's certainly looking a lot nicer. I'm going to remove this beautiful white but not finished rocker cover because I've still got other colours to add. Right, let's have a look at some of the parts. So you could see in the clips, I've been cleaning these components. The reason we go to this extent is when we're building our own engines, we like to get the parts to a ridiculously clean standard so that they can be thoroughly inspected for cracks, corrosion, or anything that might cause a leak in a housing or any potential future damage. So anything that I have taken off that engine gets the same treatment. It's not a rebuilt engine, but anything I take off will get that thorough look through. So today, I'm going to actually be installing a set of upgraded valve springs because this is getting a hybrid turbocharger, which obviously gives plenty of bottom end power, and those stock valve springs don't like that. So I'm going to do a valve spring install video for you guys. It's not going to be in this Mr. Hewes section, it's going to be separate. So please do have a look at my other videos and check out how to fit a set of valve springs in a used engine without actually taking the head off. So let's have a look at some of the other parts that I'm also going to try and get installed today. We've got the ceramic coated manifold, we've got the hybrid V3 turbocharger. Nice thing about the hybrid V3 is
It's designed to work with the top mount alternator bracket and our Landrover airbox. So these three things are very Landrover specific. They're all meant to work together. And the reason we hone it around this turbo is because it gives that low end shove that you want in a Land Rover. It gives up to 275 horsepower in those applications and a nice spool up time. So I like these. We can also see the adapter kit, gasket set, the rear sump oil pump over there, a great big sack full of other things like water pump, belts, glow plugs and things like that. Over here you can see the rear sump. Now this isn't our new version of rear sump, which I can briefly show you. You can see the difference. So this is a factory Mercedes rear sump. This is a common option that people use for a rear sump kit. But obviously these things are 20 years old. So we've designed our own rear sump system that's brand new, uses brand new oil pump and all the bits. When we used to sell these, we would have to refurbish the sump and we'd have to refurbish the oil pump, and we were using older components, so we moved on to something new. However, we sold out. So Mr. Hewes is getting a rear sump. And not only that, Mr. Hewes, because I'm doing a great deal for him and his build, is going to get one that's had a weld repair. It's ideal for this project. It's been leak tested and all the rest of it, so it'll be absolutely fine. I better get on with installing all this stuff because I think we've got 5 days left. Paul's out there right now taking off the big winch pump thing. Right, time to use diesel pump part number 1220 to put the markings on this pulley, because the factory pulley markings are painted on and they wash off. Push him back down. Oh. Rear sump oil pump. Time to get the rear main seal off. Rear main seal. Old, new. To the back of that tool. And do use the tool supplied, it's really good. I've already greased up the end of the crank and cleaned it. It looks a bit rusty, but that's how it looks because this is not a rebuilt engine. And we're going to gently push it on and it goes into those two little dowels. And doesn't that look great? Nice Mercedes sump gasket. A little bit on there, a little bit on there, where the new main seal's been fitted, and a little bit on there. Right, there we go. We've done it. We've done it, look. There we go. Right, stick that down. Push down on that bit of sealant there. Push down on that bit there. There we go. I'm making a video.
I thought the college course looked easier.
Block cooling modification to cool the rear cylinders, converted to thread rather than a push-in O-ring. A brand new steel impelled water pump. Small diameter water pump pulley to increase that water flow. Nice. Right, top tip, grind your drill bit at glow plug angle so that you can clean your glow plug seat. So deep in that glow plug hole you can see that there's a little seat at the bottom. That seat is what seals on the bottom of this plug here. And it's imperative seat's clean. So take a drill bit, grind it at the same angle as the glow plug. This is the easy at-home way of doing it. And then just poke that in there. Give it a little swirly-whirly round. You don't have to be rough and trying to like cut anything. And it will take off any little carbon deposit so that your glow plug does not get stuck. Little dab of Ceramico. And in we go. All this stuff we've got in stock. We've got a few different brands. Some people like NGK, some people like Buru. I have no preference. This is some mega serious stenciling business going down. It's like, what did Dusty call it? Arts and crafts.
Arts and crafts.
Almost looks like a mirror. But what's that in the distance? How long? We need pump now. Quickly, quickly, bastard.
Day number 4 on Mr. Hewes' build, and I can't see a boat yet, but we're getting on nicely. A few men on the job now. Paul's taken over and he's just installing some parts. Well, you can see lots of parts have been installed since yesterday. Oil filter housing is on and that's all blasted and clean. Pump's still holding the chain tight for now. Rear sump's on, I did that last night. Glow plugs are in. Valve springs were all changed yesterday. Billet fuel filter housing, high mount alternator bracket. Just have a nice little look around that. That's a pretty nice piece. These things, you've got to make sure the surfaces on the head are clean. As long as they're clean and there's a bit of Loctite on these, you're a winner. That will not break like the other high mount alternator brackets on the market. Hybrid V3 turbos on it, thermostat housing, upgraded water pump pulley, and the crank's been pinned, so it's had a lot of work done. In the meantime, paint work on the rocker cover, which I'll show you some B-roll, and the pump is nearly finished. So if you follow me past the noise machines, the pump is nearly finished, This is the culprit. Spends all day blowing his nose, you know what I mean? We need the pumps finishing. Yeah, well, I can't until that's done, can I? So, pump is underway. Men are on the job. Busy, busy.
I don't think I've ever actually showed anybody how to correctly install the billet alternator bracket, but straightforward.
Yeah.
5 M6 bolts with some Loctite. It's just a case of making sure that these surfaces are clean and that this and this are obviously nicely settled in before you tighten it. It's really that simple. Tension it on the front and then your alternator goes on there. And you can now see why we have the billet inlet pipe, because that makes room for the alternator, and then the airbox goes on top. A Landrover OM606 marriage made in heaven. Let's get this thing moved and washed off.
Quick vehicle assessment, engine's nearly done. This is a little bit of a first because 200 TDIs, 300 TDIs, done, no problem. Puma Defenders, we don't have a complete kit for. We sell bits to people, but we've never actually done one in-house. So this is quite exciting for me. Like I said, the cost of this job, a little bit of it is R&D. So I'm having a look in the engine bay and it's good. We've already moved the transmission back because we have installed one into chassis before. So we know what we need to do from a hardware point of view. We've already got the mounts, brackets, so it's ready to fit, no welding required or anything. We've already got the transmission adapter, that's been out for years. People have been using Puma adapters for quite some time of ours. The little nitty gritty bits and pieces, I'm just getting associated with now, and it's quite good. All the wiring for the starter motor and everything is all there on that side. It's all here on the loom. Well, obviously we know that this vehicle had a fire, and we can see that. You can see all that burnt wire. But the good thing is, it's on the right side, so that should literally drop straight down onto roughly where our starter motor is. A thumbs up from me for that. And then it looks like this is the loom that then goes to the other side of the engine, and I'm hoping that that is the positive for the alternator. Does it say? Yes, it does say alternator on it. So that goes round, that should go straight onto our alternator. And there's something else interesting about Pumas. You don't have to cut out the starter motor hole. It's already in the right place for a Mercedes. So there's something interesting going on here, isn't there? The loom all just seems right, the starter's in the right place. It's like the stars are aligned and this was meant to be. I'm going to wash this, all this dirtiness. And also you can see this great big winch. Paul's already removed the drive motor for it. What else did you remove? The old exhaust.
The old exhaust.
And you've moved back the transmission mounts, which 20 mil. So one side's 10 mil and the other one's
20 mil.
20 mil, yeah, okay. And then you push the slot back. Gear stick and everything all stays in the same place, and that's good. Standard rubber engine mounts are fine, but what we've noticed whilst fiddling with this is that, what's it, ASMR? Yeah. Did I get that right? I didn't insult someone by accident.
Pump install going on.
More cleaning.
Still needs like...
Really there?
Right, it's day number 5 on Mr. Hewes' build, and we've been busy. When I say we, I mean, well, quite a few of us actually. I've been putting the finishing touches to this. Paul has been putting the finishing touches to this, well, nearly the finishing touches, and it will be once this goes on. Mr. Hewes deals with tanks, and Mr. Hewes built a tank for a certain YouTuber, and that particular tank ended up getting painted white. Well, I thought initially when I did the white cover to match the car, I thought it just needs a little bit of something, and then it dawned on me, and I think he's going to understand the relevance of that. I hope he does, because that's painted on, you can't get it off, it's not a sticker. I hope you like it. If you don't, in fact, like this, I want it back, because I'm going to have that on my mantelpiece at home. All we need to do now is get that bolted on. Engine's pretty much ready. I washed off the car yesterday, got all the grease and everything out of the engine bay. We realised that the release bearing is absolutely shot, so we've ordered a new one of those. How many days have we got left? It's going next Wednesday, so we've got the Monday and the Tuesday, and then today is Thursday and Friday, so 4 working days, maybe the weekend if we need it. I think we're doing all right, we're fairly on track. All we've got to do is make a custom downpipe, make some custom pipe work for like the intercooler system and everything, modify the radiator, you know, do all the loom, you know, the glow plug wiring and the stop solenoid. We've got to do the throttle cable, no problem.
Back into the complete gasket set. There's not many gaskets left in there, so that means we're nearly finished. We have got the rocker cover gaskets. Buy yourself a complete gasket set from Dieselpumpuk UK, because when you've used the whole bag full, you know your job's about finished. Everything is Mercedes where possible, so good quality stuff. I think we've pretty much used the gasket bag up. That's what you need. What have we got left? Oh, you've already fitted one of those.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got that spare. Glow plug relay. And vac stop solenoid. Crank pin kit. But you've already done that, you've already pinned the crank, haven't you? They are crucial.
A kit bag full of stuff, it makes this job so easy.
This is the Puma oil pressure sensor. And this is the adapter that we have in stock that allows you to screw that in there and then fit it directly into your Mercedes oil filter housing. Unscrew that out of there and screw that one in there. And that's your oil switch fixed. Look at that rocker cover. Oh, look at the shine on it. Oh yeah. New release bearings come from the factors, a blueprint one. This one seems to have quite a big hole in the end, and that one doesn't. So I can't seem to get that pipe to go in there. Right, there's the two release bearings. This is the original, and then this is what we've been sent. Can you believe it's like the one piece that we didn't make for this build? You know, we moved earth to make airboxes, custom turbochargers, adapter plates, clutch systems. No, the one bit we've got to order from the local factors. Amazing. The sound of a flat battery. Oh, she's coming. It's going, it's running. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Hang on a minute. Something strange. When you started it then, it didn't rev up to 9,000 revs. But it did last time it was started, so like probably the paint job. Oh, she's choky, she's choppy. She's got that chop to it. So this is something to be careful of. This is the wrong part number for the 62 plate Defender we're working on. And this is the right part number. Let's have a look inside. Is that any bigger? It looks really similar. Oh.
That was in the bag.
That's interesting. It looks really similar to the other one. So this is actually the same wrong one as the other one. But this one comes with a new plastic thing, which actually fits into it, which is a different size to the original plastic thing, which doesn't fit into it, which is bigger. You see how they're different sizes? See how they're different? So the big one won't fit in that one, so I'm gonna have to physically change this. But I mean, and then the question is, will that then fit that? We'll find out, won't we? Is this gonna fit? I think it did. It gave like a positive click. Now we need to put in the new, that's the new one, isn't it? New one of them in there. Now I need the clip. Clip is in. Now I need the bolts. There he is, look. He's the culprit. We'll blame you for the wrong part.
Yeah, well, why does that one not fit neither?
No, it does. It does. I think, to be honest, this is the same as the other part.
Right.
But it just comes with an adapter, which is fine. I'm fine with an adapter. Power steering pipes are on the right side. The fuel pipes are on the right side. Everything seems to be handed correctly for a 606. Next thing, fuel pipes. So, like I was saying, fuel pipes are all on the right side, the side that we need them to be on the Puma. But there is a fuel cooler, which complicates things. So, we're going to remove the fuel cooler because we simply don't need it. With this not being common rail, we're not going to be really heating the fuel up. So I'm going to get rid of this. Puma has electric fuel pump. So we are going to have to remove our mechanical fuel pump, our mechanical lift pump, the low pressure pump, off the high pressure injector pump, which is no biggie because we do a blank for that kind of thing. You just have to remember to regulate the pressure accordingly. Made videos all about that. I think it's the yellow one, so now we've got an adapter pushed in the end. So I should not be able to block it.
You ready?
Yeah. Yeah, I blocked it easy.
Yeah.
So I think that's the return. I'll try and block the other. Block the other one easy. It seemed like the same pressure was both. That worries me because with a 606, you don't want like the return to have any pressure. It was looking so promising.
You're looking easy.
Right, so now at the filter housing, I think I've taken the return off. Flick the ignition on, it should... Yeah, off.
That is off.
Yeah, I know. I had to put my finger over it. It's gonna do about a 20-minute wee. If you disconnected this filter head, you'd resolve that the fuel return pressure issue. This would have run people into some bother, this, because that filter housing there connects internally the return to the feed, and you don't, on a 606, you don't want any return restriction on your line going back to the tank. So if you'd have used that stock filter housing, you'd have run straight into that problem. So my advice is take that stock filter housing off, and then this is your return line, this little one, which is the outer one, and then this one, this inner one, is the feed line from the electric pump in the tank. So that one is the one that wants to go to your fuel pump, and this one is the return from your fuel pump. And I would just recommend either connecting them or just making your own lines from here forwards, which is probably the easiest option. For those who don't know what an adapter kit is, it's basically this plate that bolts to the Mercedes engine, and then it makes it marry up to the vehicle in question. So this is obviously a Landrover, so this is a conversion plate, an adapter plate for a Landrover. And on our adapter plates, it always says what they're for usually. So this is an MT82, which is a Landrover Puma 6-speed transmission adapter plate. You'll also notice it has a billet aluminium flywheel, which have a steel friction face on them. The reason they're aluminium is because obviously when you use an adapter plate, it obviously adds thickness and it brings the entire assembly further away from the crankshaft. So rather than having like a big spacer and dangerous bits, we have one piece flywheel, which would normally, if it was steel, be quite heavy. So we make it out of aluminium, so it's not heavy, but it's still one piece, so it's safe. And then a Sachs Racing clutch, heavy duty, so they'll handle sort of 600 horsepower, which this vehicle is not getting. But it'll be good for the low down torque and towing ability and stuff. It's a good long lasting clutch. Top tip here, so if you've got an adapter plate, this little baddie sticks out, look. It actually sticks past the housing on the engine, so you either have to do one of two things. If you're using an EDC setup, which I really wouldn't advise, then you'll need to keep it. Whereas if you're not, and you're a thinking man, and you've got a mechanical pump, then you can get rid of it. So if you just undo that bolt, you can take it out. Sometimes they can be really stubborn and you have to hit them from behind. But if you are going to keep it, you're using an EDC pump, then you need to just grind a little bit off here, off this plastic piece, because you'll see, look, it sticks out. Starter motor tip: if you intend to take the starter motor off ever in the future, whilst it's in the vehicle, what you're recommended to do, by me, is just in line with those two bolts on your gearbox bell housing, just drill some 10 or 11 mil holes in line with those, so that you can just basically, when the gearbox is bolted behind this, you can put an Allen key through and you can undo those two bolts, and then you can drop the starter off. Because if not, the gearbox bell housing obviously will cover these up and make it quite hard for you to take off the starter. Engine mounts, when you're doing Puma Defender, need to be in the rearmost holes on the block. The bolts to go in the engine mounts are 25s, so M8 by 25s in the bottom and M8 by 30s in the top. The top ones are slightly longer because if you look in the hole, the top holes are slightly recessed, whereas the bottom ones are flush. And of course you can see, as with all my critical mounting hardware, you want to be using Nord locks. They're an anti-vibration washer because, surprisingly, these powerful and old mechanical diesel engines do vibrate mounts loose. So make sure you get them on there. Pop the two bottom dowels in. Just give them a little tap in. Right, we're ready to go in. It's dangling. Going in.
That felt good. Now we're turning the crankshaft and getting the splines located. Might need to go up a bit. I'd say like there, push it like on the top. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? That was good. I'd say we'll be about on the dowels at that. I'm going to go underneath and check. Click the ratchet for me. Right, and another. Right, that looks perfect, yeah. So if you just gently push it toward. Yeah, that's it, the dowel's going in. Screw a couple of bolts in, we'll be golden. What you're pushing it against now is the clutch, the slave. Day 5 of putting a 606 into a Land Rover. Well, it's in and it runs. I think that means our job's done. One to remember, ladies and gentlemen, you need to drill out in your Puma bell housing. There's 2 bolts that you need to drill out, and they are the ones. So yeah, that one below the hole, and then that one below there. So those 2 just need drilling out a 10.5mm drill. If you don't do it, better make sure you've got an angle drill and a friend that doesn't mind getting swarf in their eyes. Next step is going to be nuts on for the engine mounts, like making sure that this is like located nicely. And then we'll start looking at things like the exhaust, because that's really critical that we get that done. We're running out of time. Let's hook it up. Right, off we go. Well, it's in. Looks quite good though, doesn't it? That in there. Oh yeah.
Hang on, where is it there? That bracket, which is for the exhaust mounting. Because this is this a standard one for a 200 TDI?
Yeah.
And that basically allows the exhaust system to hang, basically, to have somewhere to fasten. Because these Puma exhaust systems are a bit different. Right, so that's new hanger sat in place. Just need to weld it on.
Day number 6 on putting the 606 into a Land Rover. It's coming along nicely now. The engine is in and mounted, and it's even bolted down and tight to the gearbox. That's exciting. Paul's just putting in a radiator and doing some of that cool stuff. We've made a list for each other. I'm not going to go through the list because I can't right now. I'm going under there now to do some welding because the Puma exhaust system, the brackets, the hangers are in a slightly different place. So one of them, I've just knocked one up this morning out of stainless steel, and I'm just going to weld that on. Good news though, the Motor Factor's brought us, this is the second part they've delivered for us, and it's wrong. I mean, they sorted the clutch thing out quickly yesterday, so I'll give them that. Is that how Motor Factors work? Do they rely on bringing the wrong thing quickly and then trying to sort it out? Like, we live in a strange world. If anybody would like to burn themselves, give me a call. Right, that's that done. That's that hanger done.
Always power steering pipes that seem to rust. They're full of like oil that doesn't make corrosion worse, but they always seem to corrode. Fucking Land Rover, everything is dirty. Can someone get me a Ferrari to work on, please? Nice clean Ferrari. Maybe like a 23 plate or something.
TIG welded exhaust systems are designed for the 200 TDI platform, and they won't work with a 300 TDI because this is the downpipe, and it comes off the turbo, comes down, and it goes. Does it go over? I can't remember now, but it goes over or under that cross member, and it doesn't work because the 300 TDI one like literally ends up there, where that is. However, I've just tried this on the Puma chassis, and it pretty much works. I've had to put an extra hanger on there, but it pretty much works, which is exciting. Apart from this is physically, like the turbo's here, so I need to extend this section. So I'm just gonna slice that off and then tiggy-wiggy it back on. Now the exhaust can move over, which is better. So that means that should have come away from there, and that should give us more room. This would be much easier on a ramp. See these fucking things here? They are literally killing my soul. These, look, literally you're working underneath and it's like, It's in your fucking face all the time. God. Nah, it's not like it's bothering me. It's not even getting to me or anything. Yeah, so I think it needs an inch taken out of here. So not just the top. You could get away with just modifying the top, but it'd be a bit shit. I need another one of these downpipes so that I can do two. It's now become too complicated just to replicate. So that I can make a jig. So that you guys at home watching this can buy one. And do you want me to tell you a top tip while I'm under here? You know, if you've ever worked on like a V-band or anything, and you undo the nut or you tighten the nut and it gets jammed and you end up snapping the V-band off. Do you know what's happening there? Do you know why that happens? If the stainless steel of the nut and the stainless steel of the bolt are of the same stainless grade, so if they were both 316, it causes the two to friction weld together. You end up with these tiny little micro friction welds, and then that nut basically is welded to the threads. A way to prevent this is by using a dissimilar metal for the nut. So a 304 nut on a 316 thread, and that'll work, or even a mild steel nut. But problem is, if you use a mild steel nut on a stainless thread, the mild steel will act like a sacrificial anode, and it'll rust really fast, will the nut, because it's the more reactive material. So top tip for you, make sure your nuts are a different grade to your shafts, your threads, your shaft threads. I need to cut this down now. I quite like this Puma cross member. You can just get the downpipe out, like even on the floor. That's good shit. Normally I have to struggle like hell to do that. So I'm going to have to cut that down a little bit, shorten it to bring it across, and then I'm going to have to lengthen that. So we've got the original return line plumbed into this return, nice, and then the R supplied feed line banjoed into the top of the power steering box and then banjoed into the pump. And did you cut that banjo down? Or?
You had to cut both of them down in the end. They both hit the fixing inside of them.
Just a bit too long?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've just test fitted the downpipe. I've cut that much out of it, which brings it across. So if you're looking at the vehicle from the back forwards, this is where the turbo is, and just brought it in away from the chassis rail. And then the next bit is obviously to lengthen that, but I have to fully weld this. I'm going to do sections to stop it warping. So this is not a pole setting, this is just 40 amps. And I'm just dabbing in that rod as I'm going along. Some people might just merge it, they wouldn't even use rod. So that's, you can see it's quite a nice small weld, we're not trying to pile loads on. What I was doing there was a little bad practice because I was kind of pulling towards myself. Really, you want this at 90 degrees to the weld, but angles, oh goodness, you got to do what you do. You want to know what I'm doing now? Yep. Still the same thing. Do I get one tick off my list yet?
No.
Luke, downpipe, no. Cooling mods, no. Intercooler pipes, no. Airbox, no. Oil cooler brackets, no. Heater matrix, no. Power steering pipes. You did that.
So the one thing on your list that's done, Paul did it?
Yeah. So I need a piece of pipe that's about 200 mil long. Nice slow setting with stainless steel. Bandsaw blades do not like stainless tube because it tends to like wang a bit and catch. So really, really slow. Set that going and then you crack on with another job for a bit.
Right, it's radiator modification time. This is an aftermarket intercooler and this is an aftermarket radiator. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. And this one needs to come out tight and as high as possible. So I'm going to chop that off and weld it on. Nice radiator though. Right, so cut all them off. This one was a good one. I just cut that off there. And, well, there was no hole in it. We're using all the welders today, so we've used the MIG this morning, the 240 volt TIG for the stainless, and now we're using the water-cooled 415 three-phase TIG for the aluminium. Day number 7, and we're getting damn close to the deadline now. But at the minute, what I'm doing is I'm working on the radiator system because the cooling system is very important with a 606 or any engine that makes horsepower. It really is a pretty direct equation, horsepower to heat. Thankfully, the CNC department get us machined up, even though we've got a very, very busy schedule in the CNC department. They've managed to get me one of our nice billet housings done. 200 TDIs and those vehicles that we created this for, the angle was wrong of this. It stuck out too far, got too close to the steering box. So this brings it all in tighter. So I'm currently fitting this in. Obviously I've just taken the other one off. That is the beauty of having the CNC shop in-house, really, isn't it? We're not having to ring up a company and say, oh, please help us. We couldn't be bothered to invest in any equipment. Hoping that I'll be able to put this in and then I'll be able to modify the outlet on the radiator to suit. Because there's no question that for a Puma conversion, because the engines move forward, we absolutely need a modified radiator and modified brackets for the radiator to sit on. There's no way around that. Normally they're anodised, but it's just come straight off the CNC, so that ain't getting anodised. Sorry, Joe, not that piece, but it's underneath. Yeah. Paul has taken the electronic throttle pedal out. Now we've got a mechanical pedal bolted in, and that is like the older 200 and 300 TDI jobby. Still got a little bit of tidying up to do, but it gives you an idea. What did you have to do? Did you have to drill some holes?
Yeah, before they go straight through the bulkhead.
Yeah.
So, them ones, they've already got little divots in the bulkhead.
Ah, I
so
see.
you know where they go.
Yeah.
There's 2 more up here on the bracket. Should give a bit more. Like
yeah.
up there, you can't really see them.
Oh,
the
I
bracket
see, yeah.
disappears up there.
Yeah. So we might just have to extend this to get a little bit more throttle lever travel on the pump, because you don't get all your performance if you don't get all your pedal travel. Or should I say all your pump lever travel. That might just need a little bit of a longer lever, or are we already on the bottom ball job? Because that's usually the first thing you got to do is make sure you're on the bottom.
Yeah, it's on the lowest hole on that.
Oh yeah, it's already on there. Do you want to give it a press and I'll just show everyone what happens? Oh, okay, so that's right down, is it?
Yeah.
So let's have a look how much more we need. Oh, we're not far off.
It's not miles off.
No, but I mean, that will make a difference, getting that extra few mil, but that's actually pretty good. I expected it to move maybe like 10 mil or something, but it's more like 4 or 5, isn't it? Yeah. That's all right. Cool. I've gone back to factory thickness intercooler, removed that end tank because basically the pipe can't exit there. You can see fan blade, example A, fan blade. So it can't exit there, it's got to exit higher up, no probs. What I've been doing is making a jig to be able to manufacture an end tank. I could cobble this stuff together, but that would really defeat the point of doing this job properly. So it goes to Twisted, not tomorrow, but the day after. And I don't think that I'll be able to get all that done and welded on in one day. not to a good standard anyway, so I very much doubt that this will actually be running. If we had maybe another couple of days, it would have been possible. So hopefully it should go to Twisted, have its lowering springs put on, come back, and then we can get it running. That is the stage we're at. Tomorrow we'll have another day, and I think that Joey's arriving in the afternoon. Right, see you tomorrow. Bedtime now.
Is it day number 8? Yes. Well, this is crunch day. Basically, yesterday I'd completed the radiator, the prototype radiator we're going to call it. I got it in and all excited, and the brackets fit, and I made the jigs and prototypes for those brackets. I realised that the intercooler itself didn't fit. If you look through this end, you can see the fan blade, look. That's the problem. And I'm really keen to retain the mechanical fan because it means no relays, no wires, no electric fans to buy, because I've spent all of my savings building this car for Mr. Joe Hewes, just out of the goodness of my heart. And it just so happens that it's better anyway. So what that means, I can't have the intercooler pipe going in its normal place there. Bang, it hits the fan. And that's no good. So I need to come up here so it misses the fan, which is very good. Can't use donkey dick intercooler because it's a donkey dick intercooler. It sticks out too much, doesn't give us any movement or room. And I'm concerned that with the weight of that and with the weight of this winch, those two things together probably puts the gross vehicle weight at the front of this vehicle somewhere in the region of the Titanic. Lightweight intercooler means faster, road legal, without that kind of mongoloid look. This is my jig. I feel like it's a school show and tell. We didn't have show and tell at my school. It was all just spanking. Was I not supposed to enjoy it? No. Name the school. It was the St. Jimmy the 5th, and it's in a place called Chapel Allerton in Leeds. That's where they all hang out. We don't need to go down that path today. This is how I keep myself going day in, day out, because this shit's boring. Doing things right gets boring. Cobbling shit together for YouTube and having a laugh is fun. I think that's where YouTubers are doing things right. As soon as you start going down that road of trying to do it right and professional, look how unhappy Mr. Koenigsegg looks. I can't remember his name. Lord. Can we think of any other car manufacturers that don't look very happy? Let's go back onto the boring stuff. Pipe doesn't fit. I'm going to make pipe higher. I have to make jig so that I can repeatedly make pipe higher in the same place, so customers can buy it and pay me money, so I can keep coming here every day and keep making these jigs every day and these videos every day and building Joe-free cars every day. My boat's not even coming, is it?
You can't cut and weld plastic.
I cannot.
So why have you made the jig?
Because I'm going to make an aluminium version and then I'm going to weld it to the end of that end tank.
But you said you weren't going to build it.
If I can find the inspiration.
So how are you going to make it? What, with just fabrication skills?
Yeah, literally. I'm going to take some sheet aluminium. This is me not being sarcastic for the camera. This is the not being sarcastic face. This is the sarcastic face. This is the not being sarcastic face. Easy. I'm going to get some sheet aluminium and I'm going to make all this. You can do it as well at home. You just need aluminium folding skills. You need TIG welding equipment. You need a bandsaw. You need a sander. You need some equipment to do jigs, a MIG welder to make the jigs. You need the vehicle and you need the engine to put in it and the workshop to do it in. It's not hard, people. It's not hard. Are you ready for the big reveal?
Oh, yes. Bit of whistling diesel. Bit of Alcolo.
Yes!
I'm into that.
That's not a decal. You can't get that on.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's
Take it on.
too fat.
That suits the Landy though, doesn't it? The white Landy.
Yeah. He's not furious, so that's
So
a good thing.
that's
if you're listening, Cody, you need to send us out some beer for us to try.
Is it beer? Or is it actually a gluten-free substitute?
It looks far too good for this.
Have a look at the exhaust.
Landrover is the cleanest I've ever seen it.
Well-
The whole exhaust.
Yeah, the whole lot.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Look how clean your floor is.
Yes. It's nice, isn't it? See
That
someone
looks
else that
amazing.
appreciates the clean
What thickness is that? That looks huge.
3 inch.
That honestly is incredible. I love what you've done with that. I think that's
I originally painted it white, stenciled it all out, and did the red. Stencil it again to do the black band. You're wondering why I didn't get this finished.
this is more important. This is details.
Coming closer.
Coming closer. Coming
closer.
This is going to be.
This is
the main
important.
process.
This is evidence.
So I will bring said boat to your yard next month. Otherwise, this truck is yours.
Oh, nice. Is that a good thing?
So
Hang on a minute. That might be me financially done anyway.
I'm mega pleased with that, but I mean that.
Hopefully, after tomorrow, because this is day number 8. Day number 8, and we didn't manage to get it.
I mean, that's fortunate.
So, we basically have like probably another day or 2, realistically. I could have bodged it.
But I understand why not, and I'm totally fine with that.
I'll show you what the hold-up has been.
And this is where all the time gets taken up.
Yeah, well that, I mean,
That looks nice.
modifying all the radiator alone
Took ages.
it took probably a day and a half.
Yeah.
And then making these brackets probably another half a day, and then the intercooler's been like over a day because of the complications of that. But nobody wants to hear me cry all day about these brackets are going to become an actual thing.
A product that will go with the package.
Yes, yeah. Now, the reason why the top's flopping is because the intercooler then holds the next bit in. And you can see this is the bit that holds the intercooler, and the grill on yours not been an aircon version. Aircon ones go to about here, but the normal ones go to there. So I'm literally on the limit with that. The AirTech one was deep. It went right down here.
A bit wider, wasn't it?
Yeah, and heavy.
Yeah.
Like, was it full of sand?
It was made out of lead, I think.
Right. I kind of thought when you said the timeline, I was like, 3 weeks.
It's on crack.
So, have you brought a trailer with you?
So Scott is on his way
Oh,
with said trailer.
okay. So we need to get it outside, don't we?
Yeah.
Has he got a winch? How did you get it on last time? End of day 8. Customer seems mildly. He's probably upset that we didn't get it running, but
Customers come without payment of boat.
yeah, there's no boat, so half a job for. Oh, I'm still the good side of the deal, really.
I think you are.
Yeah. Bye for now.
There's another strap on the other side. Oh, we're still strapped on, are we? That'll do it,
I hope you're getting paid well.
You can get breakfast.
There's a McDonald's nearby.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Right, we're finally here after 8 days of thrashing away. You can see it didn't quite get finished, but we are still here and there was plenty of blokes to push it in. The reason I was so keen to get it absolutely looking perfect, obviously for the customer, but also it's amongst definitely some of the best Landrovers in the world. So I was quite nervous that my engine not being rebuilt was going to come to possibly the place where it'd probably get the most scrutiny, but it seems to have been well received, so I'm pleased about that. And hopefully the next one that comes might be a bit more shiny. Now it's going to get, what is it going to get?
I believe we're going to have suspension upgrade and wheels. So we'll see what it handles like.
Suspension upgrade or, not downgrade, but upgrade or low?
A better comfort in it.
Same height?
A handling package.
Factory height?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a wheel change?
I should really ask them what they're going to do first.
Yeah.
I'd almost know what to say.
Yeah, okay. We think it's going to be wheels and suspension.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
To complement the new engine.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't want to roll it over and then, yeah, make it all fast and then
And then
fall.
bin it.
Yeah. Right, we better let these guys get on with their amazing work, and then we'll have to finish ours afterwards.
And then have a play.
Yeah.
Have
yeah.
a proper play with it.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Bye for now.